Hey there, I hope you're well. This is JR from Trade Skillers Anonymous, and today we're going to talk about how to make on your CNC one of these under-desk footrests. And it's really versatile, it's adjustable, no special tools needed really to do it. If you've got a CNC machine at the house, you could certainly make this. Very little other tools are required, and frankly, those are even optional. So this particular one is one that I just wanted to do so that you could follow along with the progress today, and it's just made out of MDF. This is the one that I kind of forgot to document while I was building it, but this is out of walnut, and I really like it quite a bit. It's very comfortable under a desk, and just thought you might care to see it. I will have plans available in the link below if you're interested in doing one of these on your CNC. Thanks so much for watching. Let's get into it. All right, and what you see here is the part that we're going to need two of, and this is the side panel. So you'll make two of these, and what I'm using is a Onefinity CNC, Vectric for my software, Vectric Pro, and I'm using a Cody's CNC Jenny bit to do all that work. And the next piece is going to be the foot pedestal itself, where your feet actually rest. And keep in mind that you can resize this to any width that you like, but just remember that these stretchers that we're cutting out here next, they need to be somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch longer than the foot pedestal is wide, and that allows the foot pedestal to move within the framework without binding up. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to do is just round over all the edges that a finger or toe might get stuck on or come into contact with. Just remember, anything you build for furniture, it shouldn't suck to touch it. Okay, so now at this point, we should have our two similar side panels. We also should have 3 stretchers, and what those are going to do is they're going to go in between. And maybe you could get away with just 2, but I like having 3. So they're going to go and attach to each side through whatever method you want. Could screw, glue, or otherwise go nuts with your joinery if you want. And then this is your foot rest, where the feet actually are going to rest. So before we do anything that would round over these edges and make drilling our holes, our dowel holes, any more difficult, we want to leave this square. And what I'm going to do next is use this drilling jig that has multiple sizes, and what's nice is that it's going to clamp onto my board, tighten it down, should find its center. I just have to align. There are sight holes on the side of most of these kind of clamps that you can line up with a line like this. So that you're drilling where you want to. So we'll get into that next. And the main thing that you would want to use something like this for is that when you're drilling the holes for the dowels, you just sure don't want that drill to walk and blow out through one of the sides. So we're going to clamp to our stable work surface. We're going to align our drilling jig with our marked holes, and then using the appropriate size, drill our hole, and hopefully that is nice and centered and exactly where we need it to be. And again, and I will have said this before, I'm just doing this out of some MDF drops. I'll put a picture of the walnut one that I made, but that's going to give you a nice centered up dowel hole for you to work from. Now the good news is that you could scale these plans to anything you like. Let's just do a quick test fit of our dowels. You could change the size of the dowels, you can change the size of the footrest, you could modify it however you see fit. So you can knock yourself out. And there's one more note. So orders of operation are important, right? So I'm going to use this round over bit to soften the edges, and I'd recommend you do the same. Now, this is non-critical because it's going to be encased by the two side panels, but I do want to give it a treatment. But anytime you're using a bit like this that has a bearing, it will have a tendency to fall into the hole, and it will cause a deeper cut. So you'll see me switch. I'll use the fence for this side, and then I'm just going to freehand the long sides. Okay, and at this point, now I have got my holes drilled and rounded over the edges afterwards. And now at this point, I'm really, ready to just slap the thing together. Now again, this is really meant to be done with a nicer wood. Again, this is just MDF. I'm going to tack this thing together just so much that we could see a final product sitting here. But there are a lot of different ways that you could approach the joinery and your attachment method. Okay, so now at this point, let's just do a simple test. So now we have our foot pedestal base, a dowel in each corner. Those are going to mate up with our side pieces here. And then these three stretchers, which are cut about 1/4 of an inch wider than the width of the pedestal itself, the foot pedestal, because what you want to do is create some little bit of space, some free movement area, so that this this assembly can have the room that it needs to not be bound up as you're making adjustments. And this is going to flop around. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and tack this together, and you can just watch right along. Just so we can flop this thing around and kind of demonstrate the way it works. Okay, so now at this point, we have a full functioning footrest. Well, I hope that you found today's topic helpful or informative. Let you know that there's plenty of things that you can do with a CNC machine. It doesn't have to come out of a gigantic equipped shop. The file for this particular project as an SVG is going to be listed down in the description of the video. So if you care to do one of these for yourself and want to support the channel, that would be one way to do it. Another way is if you liked the video today, hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing. It sure would help. So thanks very much for watching today. Hope you're well. Take care.